everyone, welcome back to a new video. Today's video is all about writing a perfect cover letter with no experience. My common mantra is work experience doesn't have to be paid experience, right? And so I made a first video, I'll put it on the screen, that speaks about how to write a perfect CV with no experience. I would highly recommend you watch that video first before you come ahead to watch this video, because the cover letter we're going to be looking at or dissecting or detailing out in this video is going to build on the CV we created in the other video, right? So that's the first video I believe will give you context. Now the second video I think you should watch is the one I created last week video, so just like the video that comes before this, and it sets the context of what a cover letter is, the 4 paragraphs that should be in your cover letter, what exactly should go into each of these paragraphs. I feel like that is the second video you should watch, and then this video is going to be a practical guide, literally step by step, how I would write a perfect cover letter using the CV we had created for Sade in the first video I spoke about. If Sade is new to you, it really means you should pause this video and go and watch the second one. So we'll see you soon. Today we're going to be creating a perfect cover letter for Sade. Like I did with the CV video, I've created a sample copy which I would leave in the description box for you to download. But yes, let's get into it. For context purposes, Sade is applying for a graduate entry role. So imagine Sade as a recent graduate, right? She recently graduated studying economics from a university, and now she wants to apply for a graduate internship in an accounting firm, right? So context is Sade is applying for a graduate internship role in an accounting firm, right? And so if you look back to Sade's CV, and I'll try to, just make sure it's showing on the screen. Sade's CV shows that she served as, like as an administrator or a data analyst in a mom's superstore, right? Which is Shop Best Superstore. So how exactly should Sade frame a cover letter, right? Based off the CV she already has. So in the first paragraph, which you should be seeing on the screen now, it says, starts with Dear Hiring Manager's name. Now I see some people say, should it be his, or should it be Dear Ma or Dear Sir? Should it be, try to figure out like the gender or the pronoun or whatever to use. If you are not sure, you can do your research, and if you see that maybe the hiring manager of that organization is a he or is a she, you can now put Dear Ma or Dear Sir. But just to be very safe, because what if by the time you are reviewing your application, power has changed hands, right? So you just want to put a very neutral salutation. I've called it here Dear Hiring Manager's name, right? Or Dear Hiring Manager, full stop, like, comma. There's no need to put Dear this or Dear that. Just put Dear Hiring Manager and then go into your introduction, right? So for your introduction here, Sade starts out with very, very, very expressive, right? You want to start out with a very strong note, a very strong sentence, a very strong introduction. And here she puts, I'm writing to express my keen interest in the graduate entry accounting role at X company, right? With a first-class degree in economics from this university and a proven track record of applying accounting principles in professional settings, I'm eager to contribute to your finance team. My aspiration is to build a career in corporate finance that aligns strongly with this company focused on this, which makes this opportunity particularly exciting. Now, this may seem a lot, but there are some certain things you should make sure it's in your introduction paragraph. Number 1, you want to say something about yourself, right? So basically, Sade starts out with, I'm writing to express my interest in this role, right? Because I think that for organizations, they typically open more than one role at the same time. They could open their graduate internship application, they could open the role for a manager. So you want to clearly start out what role are you applying for, which Sade has clearly done in this video. I'm writing to express my keen interest in the graduate entry role in this company, right? So that's your first sentence. Then you want to go ahead to really put yourself, sell yourself with a first-class degree in this, having sat for X certifications and have all this chartered, qualified accountant in Nigeria. If you say you're applying to a law company, having been called to the bar, you want to say something that makes you stand out and doesn't just put you on the level of the average Joe. Right, so Sade clearly puts here, she graduated with a first class. So she puts with a first class degree in economics from this university and a track record of applying accounting principles in professional settings. Now remember that the role Sade is applying for here is a graduate entry role in an accounting organization. So she's coming to say, I have a first class degree in economics. I have proven track records of applying accounting principles, of doing all of these things, which they can clearly see from her CV, right? So your CV and your cover letter should not be in dissonance. They should not be fighting with one another. they need to build on each other. Your cover letter needs to build on everything you have put in your CV, right? So she starts out very strong. She comes to say, I have a proven track record in applying accounting principles in professional settings, which I am eager to contribute to your team, right? So as you write your cover letter, even if you think you don't have any experience, you need to leverage what you have put in your CV. So if you are starting out and you don't even have a CV, I feel like this is a second step, while your first step is writing your CV. Once you can clearly have a solid CV, it's so easy to build on because you already know the experiences you want to draw out from your CV. You already know the things you want to talk about, and it's just like fleshing it out and making the interviewer really understand, the context, the settings at which things happened for that particular experience you want to show. And then Shade goes ahead to say, my aspiration is to build a career in corporate finance and accounting which strongly aligns with your company's focus. And that is what makes this opportunity particularly interesting. Now, I've said a lot, but if I was to recap some things, clear things you shouldn't miss out in your introductory paragraph. Number one, you want to clearly call out the role you're applying for. Number two, you want to point out the skills or let's call it your top 2 skills that make you particularly interesting for this role. Imagine applying for a chartered finance analyst role and you have the CFA. Like, your introductory paragraph should come to say, as a chartered financial analyst with the CFA Institute, you want to bring out those punch words, those punch certifications, those things that really will pique the interest of your interviewer, and then say that all of the things I bring to the table aligns well with the company's value, which makes me interested in this role. I feel like if you do all of these things, you definitely have a solid paragraph 1. And you might say, okay, after doing all of these things, I have my paragraph 1 is literally almost half of the page. The first draft doesn't have to be perfect, right? At the end of the day, you iterate, refine until you get to your final version. So it's fine if you just brain dump. The way I work is I brain dump in my first time trying to do something. I just put everything in my head down. And when I put that, I then begin to take out, share, reward, refine until it comes out perfect and crisp. So that's your first paragraph. I feel like I've taken my time to really explain the things that should be in your first paragraph, right? I'll recap again. Number 1, highlight the role you're applying for. Number 2 is what are those top 2 bangers, those top 2 things that would pique the interest of your interviewer. If let's say, so someone will say, okay, I didn't graduate with a first class. Someone will say, okay, I don't have any CFA Research Institute or CFA certification or ICANN certification. Think of it. What did you do that made you interested in this role? Okay, so let's move to the second paragraph. And like I said in the video of last week, your second paragraph should highlight your technical skills that qualifies you for this job. In Shade's instance, I would read out what we put for Shade. So in Shade's role as a lead accountant at Faith Foundation, remember that Shade had worked on her CV already, and so the interviewer can clearly see that she was a lead accountant at Faith Foundation. Now you might think, okay, why did Shade not highlight some of her roles in Shop Best, since that's like technical? Remember that Shade is applying to an accounting firm. And so you need to pick the technical skills that best suits the organization you're applying to. So in my role as lead accountant at the Faith Foundation, I managed weekly income accounts, prepared comprehensive expenditure statements, introduced GAAP principles to improve transparency. These are the things Shade has put in her CV already. Right? So you just want to say, okay, in my role as lead accountant, I was in charge of, preparing the weekly expenditure reports or statements for the organization. I introduced general accepted accounting principles in the way the organization prepares their accounts to improve transparency, financial governance. Imagine an interviewer or HR personnel looking at this. They clearly know that Shade knows this accounting work. She's speaking words like GAAP principles, expenditure, income and expenditure statements, things that every basic accountant should know. Right? So it's also the choice of words that you are using. Even if you don't know, I would say please pause this video. For your CV, go and look for what are the technical words for this organization. Imagine you're in oil and gas, right? And you're applying for an engineering role. Maybe including income and expenditure statements in your cover letter is not the best. Maybe you want to start speaking words like, okay, drilling an oil well, using a rig. I don't really know engineering like that, but you need to use technical terms for your department or for your organization, right? So please tailor your cover letter to the organization you're applying to. Now, Shade goes ahead to say, I also regularly delivered financial presentations to senior stakeholders, ensuring clarity of reporting, right? She said, more recently at Shop Best Superstores, which I specifically put in her CV, I applied data analysis tools like Excel, SAP to monitor profitability, negotiate supplier pricing, reduce operational costs by 10%. Second paragraph should really focus on emphasizing your technical skills. If you don't know the technical skills for that job, pause this video, go ahead, check the job description. What do they say you will do? Do they say you need to prepare financial models? Then you want to emphasize or you want to highlight instances when you prepare financial models. Even if you've not prepared financial models, so far you know how to use Excel. You can say, I developed Excel skills which enabled me to, to do this, to do it, to do it. I'm in the process of developing or learning how to build a very good model on Excel, right? And you need to make sure that you're in the process of learning it so that during your interviews, at least you can say, okay, I've learned 1 or 2 things, right? So never come across and say, I don't know, I don't have anything. So let's continue. So basically, Shade is emphasizing the work she did at Faith Foundation. She's emphasizing the work she did at Shop Best Superstores, emphasizing the technical accounting skills that she already has, right? And then she now wrapped it up to say, these experiences have given me a strong foundation in accounting and financial analysis with the ability to apply theory to practical challenges. I come back to say work experience doesn't have to be paid experience, especially if you already have a good CV. Everything I'm building here, I'm not trying to think of it from scratch because I already did that work with the CV writing. I just need to expand more on the things I have already put in my CV. That's the work of your cover letter. Your cover letter is an amplifier. It's not the base. It's like, the icing on the cake. It's not the main cake. Main cake is your CV. That's where you really need to do a lot of thinking, a lot of, okay, what exactly have I done? When you already have your good CV, then you amplify it, tell the story more in your cover letter. That's the job of your cover letter. So that's it for the second paragraph. To recap, your second paragraph should focus on the technical skills that is required for the job you're applying for. Now let's move to the third paragraph, right? And if you watched my last video, you will know that the third paragraph should emphasize your non-technical skills. This is actually, I've given you guys the framework. First paragraph, introduction, I've told you what should be there. Second paragraph, technical skills, I've told you what should be there. Third paragraph, it is non-technical skills, and I'm telling you what should be there. There is no way you should not have a good, perfect cover letter after this video. If you don't, I'm using side eyes to look at it. So let's continue. Now, let's read what Shade has written for our third paragraph. Alongside my accounting experience, building on my technical skills, I have actually taken on leadership roles that strengthen my teamwork and organization skills. Think of it, every organization wants someone that can communicate well. Every organization wants someone that can lead, that can work well in a team, that is organized, that is punctual, that is disciplined. You want to emphasize all of these soft skills and use a good example from your CV to validate it. Don't just come in your cover letter and say, I'm the best, I can do this, I can do that. No experience, no example. You're setting yourself up for disaster. So the example Shade gives in this third paragraph is, as class representative for over 100 students, I was entrusted to voice concerns, faculty, organize academic initiatives, and ensure effective communication between students and lecturers. That's the role of your class representative. You are the middleman. So you want to say that I was the class representative to over 100 students. During my role as a class representative, I ensured effective communication between my peers and the lecturers. I facilitated activities. I organized this. Like I said in the other video on CB, you want to use the right word, organized, facilitated. Things around teamwork, communication. Every organization, whether it's a multinational, a national, a tech, everyone wants someone that can do all of these things. You are organized, you can think out of the box, you are effective. All of these things will definitely make you stand out, which is what you want to highlight in your cover letter, right? She then goes ahead to say, additionally, as the head of research in this organization, I led a 5-person team to design educational content for disadvantaged communities. This shows I've honed my ability to lead, inspire teams, and deliver results under pressure. Your third paragraph should emphasize, highlight your non-technical skills examples of where you have led, where you've organized, where you facilitated, where you've done this and done that and done. In a non-professional setting, you want to emphasize to your interviewer that you can deliver the job and even go a step further by being a very good and amazing person, a very good and amazing teammate. And like I said, reference examples in your CV. Where you have volunteering activities, where you have leadership experience, these are good places to get points or examples for your third paragraph. Now let's move to the fourth and final paragraph. This I think is also very straightforward. Yeah, you're not trying to emphasize any skills you have done that in the second and third paragraph. What you want to do here is show that you have done your research about the organization. So like I said, Sade is applying for a graduate entry role in an accounting firm, right? So imagine her saying something like, I'm particularly drawn to ABC organizations, recent acquisition of this other accounting firm, or the award they won as the best. Almost all of these professional service firms they actually win awards. Best this, maybe best auditing firm, best this, best that, best that. You can say, I'm particularly, drawn to the ability to consistently win this award, which shows the ability to, be ranked best in class, which shows the ability to do this, to do that, to do that. Let's read what Sade wrote down. I'm particularly drawn to Company X's recent advisory role in the acquisition of this company, which reflects, the firm's strength in navigating complex financial transactions. This forward-looking approach resonates well with my passion for applying financial analysis to support business growth. What exactly is she doing here? She's bringing in the fact that I have done my research about you guys. If you bring me in from day one, I'm good to go. So think of it, do your research. What is in the news about this organization? Is it a recent acquisition, or they opened a new subsidiary, or what? What's interesting that shows that, this organization is actually an innovative company. They are looking to set the trend. They have good policies. Something that shows that you guys are doing amazing well. Everything I've said before is to show how amazing I am. Like, imagine two amazing entities, myself and this organization, coming together. What do you think will happen? Success and excellence. That's what you want to emphasize in this fourth paragraph. You're wrapping up. It's more like you're saying, having said all this, having said things around myself, having said things around my technical skills, my non-technical skills, topping it up with the organization is doing so well in buying companies, in creating your subsidiaries, in doing this. I look forward to working together with you to take this organization to even greater levels, greater heights. I'm confident, let's go back to what Sade said. I'm confident that my accounting expertise allow me to contribute meaningfully to your team. Thank you so much for considering my application, and I look forward to the opportunity to discuss how best I can support Company X to achieve success. Yours sincerely, Sade. So, as we conclude the cover letter, you need to emphasize, done your research about the organization. So say something about a recent policy, recent this, recent that, recent acquisition, recent subsidiary they opened. Say something about how the organization's visions, dreams, values, objectives align with Sade's vision, dreams, values, objectives. Show that there is good synergy in the way both of you are thinking about the future. And then wrap it up with, I look forward to discussing more with you. Your name, yours sincerely. So that's it for the cover letter. I feel like if you actually take your time, do your research, right? Do not rush it. Take your time to write the first paragraph, the second paragraph, the third paragraph, the fourth paragraph. You would come to a very good cover letter. All right, so that brings us to the end of this video. I have covered everything that should be in your introduction, your second paragraph, your third paragraph, your final paragraph. If you watched this video to the end, thank you so much. I know that by following the steps here, you have a very good cover letter to start out with, right? Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe. If you have any questions on how to write a cover letter or something that I said that is unclear, leave your questions in the comment section. I will respond. Don't forget to subscribe again and again. If you are watching this video and you're not subscribed, please click on that subscribe button, share with your friends, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.